What's going on, guys? Jurassic here. Today we're going to be showing you exactly how to fix your economy early game inside of Anno 117. Now, you might be running into an issue where you're using a lot of your money and you're not sure how to actually fix that. Well, I'm going to show you what we need to do. So if you click on any of your Libertas residents, you're going to notice that they have 3 different requirements. They need to have some sort of food source, they need to have clothing, and then they need to have a market nearby. So the market radius is going to have this little green bar there. That's going to show you the houses that are able to be upgraded inside that range. That's going to be essential. Also, we have our hat maker and also our shirt maker close by. That way all the houses are covered. That's going to meet all the requirements, and then we'll be able to upgrade the residents. Why would you want to do that? Well, the higher tier residents actually produce more taxes, so we'll get more money as a result. Although they do demand a little bit more food. Now, how do you know if you have enough food? Well, you notice in the top left corner there, we have plus 13. So currently we have a net positive of getting 13 food per day. We gotta wait for it to fully realize it, and then boom. All right, so we have all these, but you're going to notice that your income didn't go up a huge amount. So the fix for this is actually going to be to pause the brick production temporarily.
Gods, don't think me ungrateful.
Because this is going to require a lot of extra money for the economy here. In the early stages of Anno, if you hover over a building, you're going to notice there's a gold symbol, and it'll show you how much gold you're actually spending per day. So currently, this is going to be spending 12 gold. So if we pause that, that'll save us 12 on that. We're going to pause the ones that are causing us money. Warehouse, currently this is only for the clay. We can pause the clay production. Now, another thing that we also are going to be able to do is the more we meet the needs of our citizens, the more tax they're going to pay, and that's going to get us more money. All right, so currently we dropped our total down to 33, so we should be able to upgrade these buildings. So good news is we finally figured out a way to stabilize our economy. We did get down to 3,900, so we lost a little bit of money while trying to set everything up. So you're going to notice your market's going to be a very big essential thing for boosting income inside the radius there. There's going to be some things that you're going to have inside of your warehouses that you're going to be able to sort of like make do for the time being. For example, sheep. We have 38 sheep, that's plenty. We don't necessarily need multiple sheep farms running at once. I had 2 originally since I was trying to get it set up over here. But I think if you're trying to like min-max the game, you only need 1 sheep farm technically. And then the main thing is going to be to have your spinner. But once the spinner runs out of products, then you're going to have to turn that farm back online. So unfortunately, it looks like he's going to have to be back online. So now we're going to be down to -2 gold again. But as soon as you pause like this building, for example, you're going to notice that the money goes up a huge amount. So there's some things that are going to be more important to have operational, whereas some things aren't going to be near as important. All right, so how did we go from -60 to -5 wood? Well, there were some things that we were able to pause. So currently we don't necessarily need more sheep since we had plenty inside of storage. So that's paused. If you have plenty of hemps, you can pause that as well. The wood, for example, you're not going to be using that too often unless you're doing a whole bunch of upgrades. We can pause the wood and the wood saw. Our food currently is maxed out. We have plus 13, so we're getting 13 extra food a day. The main thing, though, is if you click on some of these buildings, you're going to notice, like, the clay pit, for example, is going to cost us 13. Well, we're paused, so we can't see. This one's going to cost us, like, 8 or 13 gold or something, so that's another huge one. Charcoal burner and the bricklayer, those are all going to be really taxing, especially early on. So the higher we get our plebeians satisfied, the better we're going to be able to get more money. So when we're looking at this, if we scroll down inside the menu here, you can see their exact needs. So for example, we have a 67%, which is normal. So sardines, we have +1, porridge, we have +1, bread, they don't have access to, and grom, they don't have access to. You're going to notice though, once it gets attributed for that, it's going to give us +1 income for every single house that has that bonus. Same with the public service needs, although this one's a little bit different. It has the 100% already, so we don't have to do anything in that category. The fashion, they're missing sandals and soap currently. That's once again going to get us +3 income, so that's actually going to be the highest income so far. And then we have the household supplies. But the main thing is going to be to focus on the sandals and soap. Well, how do you do that? So if you go inside the menu here, you can see that for the plebeian stage, it's going to require a latum. But you're going to need to have 200 plebeians in order to actually unlock that part. So the only real thing that we can get a good bonus to currently is going to be to focus on the bread and rom. That should get us the best results, and we'll replace that with the guam. It is going to cost us a little bit extra gold, but that should have the plebeians paying us more in the long run. And it is also going to cost you 1 brick, but this is going to get you the mackerel, so it's going to be a little bit more of a fancy thing. What else are you going to need once you have that? Well, you're going to need to have the guam factory itself, and you're also going to need to have salt. Okay, so there you... So we have the mackerels, we have the salt, and now we have you. Just to get the production up quicker, that way hopefully it's going to make our income go up a super huge amount. We're going to actually place it right next to the warehouse, that way it's a super short walk for them. That should already be covered, we're good. And hopefully, now that it has all the resources, it'll start producing. Okay, so we went from 29 down to 12, so that's a pretty good improvement. That's a warehouse here, so we could have another building for that. We'll have a slightly unhappy person there, but I think that'll be a little bit better for us. So let's see how much guam we're actually producing. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We might have actually done it. We are starting to make money in our city. We're no longer going to be broke forever. And good news is, now that we have that, we could actually focus on what we actually need to do for our city. So for example, food is currently +9, so that's going okay. We are getting 54 extra income, so that's going to get us our freedom to have more things like mackerel and salt. It looks like salt's going to have the biggest slowdown for us currently, so let's go ahead and get us some salt. Okay, so now we're going to need bricks. I think with our economy stabilized, now we should actually be able to produce these without being broke. As soon as we'll be able to get that up, we'll have 2 salt things going. We only have 1 mackerel. I'm not sure if for the time being, if we should just do sardines also, or if it's just one of those things where the sardines are... This is exactly how you balance out your economy. And now that we temporarily turn everything off in order to balance everything, now we are actually looking pretty good. You're going to notice that the food is now super happy. It's 133% supplied because of the guam. That'll take our income down temporarily, but we'll be able to get more salt, so we'll be able to sustain our economy and getting into some of the other stuff. Like, for example, we were looking at the bread earlier, and that was going to require flour. But that is going to be it for today, guys. So if this helped you figure out how to balance your early game economy, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.